Hello students. Today, the second part of this lesson, we are going to discuss about the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The previous class we have seen the some of the provisions are given to the minorities, weak section and backward through the constitution. So in this class we will deal with scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The Indian constitution does not give a clear-cut definition of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. For them there is no particular definition. Who are these scheduled caste and scheduled tribes? This has been specially referred to by the order of President on the advice of the governor of the respective state. So mainly this responsibility taken by the governor through the president. In the Indian constitution, provisions have been made to prevent caste-based exploitation, to wipe out the injustice to them through equality and fraternity, and to see that they progress socially, economically, politically and educationally. Mainly the Indian constitutions are given some of the provisions for what? To prevent the exploitation of this caste and to get the justice in a equal and fraternal way, so that we can see that whether they are socially, economically, politically, educationally growing or not. According to Article 341, those castes included in the schedule are called scheduled caste, while those castes which are included in the schedule of Article 342 are called scheduled tribes. For the scheduled caste, there is a article number 341. So in this article, who are included? They are known as that scheduled caste. Then for the scheduled tribe, 342 article number is there. So it is mentioned for them also. People who live mostly in the forest areas and mountains region are included among the scheduled tribes. So mainly the scheduled tribes people are living in the forest area or the mountain region. They live in specific geographical condition and live a different social and cultural life as compared to others, because they don't have any mingling with the society to the outside people. They are living in the forest and mountain area. That is why they have the particular social life and particular cultural life. So it is totally different from the other people. These people are economically and educationally backward. These scheduled tribes people are always remain as educationally as well as economically backward. So some of the constitutional provisions. For the development and welfare of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, the following special provisions are made in the constitution. These are some of the provisions, some of the favors are given to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. So which are they? The first we will see that the general provision, generally this provision is given to all. First one, according to Article 15 of the Constitution. Article 15 of the Constitution restricts discrimination on the basis of religion, community, caste, birthplace, etc. because this is given the general only. So that is why it is mentioned that there should not be any type of discrimination on the basis of religion, community, caste, birthplace, etc. In addition to this, no condition can be imposed. First one, for entering shops, public restaurants, hotel and places of public entertainment. These are the places are for all the people. That is the public places. Then second one, B, for using wells, lakes, bathing place, roads for using places dedicated for public use completely or partially under control of the state government. So which are the directions are given by the government? In that then you can be use the wells, lakes, bathing places, roads and everything. The second general provision, according to the article number 20, if a person living in any part of India holds his own language, script or culture set up of his own, he has right to preserve them. And so which are the language or the script or culture he has, so that person can preserve that culture, language and a script wherever he is living. B, a person will not be refused admission on the basis of religion, caste, language to any institution run and maintained with the financial help from the government. Some of the financial institutions are there. So in that cases, there should not be refused any type of admission on the basis of religion, caste, language and institution. Then second one, the special provision. So general provisions we have seen for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The second is for special provisions B. According to Article 46 of the Directive Principles of the State Policy, a state would take care of educational, social and economic interest of backward classes of the states. So which are the people living in a backward condition? For them, then government will take care of the all growth of the peoples. Then especially scheduled caste and scheduled tribe will be protected against social injustice and exploitation. All type of protection they need from all level. That is why especially the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe will get all type of protection from all type of exploitation. Then second point, according to article number 16, for if the state government feels that the backward classes are not represented proportionally in government jobs, the state government will have the right to provide reservation in jobs and appointment. So according to the proportion, according to the number of this, then have to give the proper the government job to the people from scheduled caste or the backward people. That is why this all the interest is taken by the government. So appointing or reserving the some kind of the jobs and appointment for this type of people. The third point is according to article number 330, 332 and 334, some seats in the Legislative Assembly and Parliament are reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Even for the Parliament also they are having the particular post for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. There is no reservation of seat in Rajya Sabha. For the Rajya Sabha there is no reservation for this group. The fourth one, seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in Gram Panchayat and municipality. In the Gram Panchayat as well as in the municipality also, some of the seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Other than this, under different 5 years program, hostels have been opened and schemes have been launched to offer scholarship for children. Some kind of scholarship is given for the children for their education. And also counseling and training classes for competitive exam. Some kind of exam also conducted for this type of people. That also started. Residential school, that is Ashram Shala, have been set up for the educational programs. The residential school also established. Then minimum requirement of age, fees and qualification have been relaxed for this candidate of this group of the government job. So for these minorities or for this scheduled caste and scheduled tribe, then some of the fees concession is also having for this type of group of people and also giving some kind of job. Some relaxations are there for them. Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar organization facilities those persons who work for social understanding and upliftment of weaker section of population, the social transformation, potentiality, justice and human dignity. So what they will do, some of the organization then facilitate those persons who work for social understanding, upliftment of the weaker section of population, the social transformation, potentiality, justice and human dignity is given. There is a separate division in the state and a special officer is appointed at the central level for the welfare and the protection of the interest of these people. And also there is a separate division in the state and a special officer is appointed at the central level for the welfare and protection of the interest of these people. Some kind of in the appointment, a special officer appointment is given this type of people. National Commission is formed at the central level for these people. Along with various schemes have been started for social, education and economic development of these people by state and central government. Through central government and state government, they are given some of the schemes for one, to improve their quality for social, educational and economic development. Next we will see that provisions only for scheduled castes. For the scheduled castes, which are the provisions are given. According to the Article 17, untouchability is totally eradicated, untouchability removed, and its practice in any form is prohibited. If any reasons untouchability is still continuing, that is have to stop. That is prohibited only. Any disqualification imposed due to untouchability is considered to be a legal punishable crime. If it is any type of untouchability is seen and any type of disqualification imposing those people, it is taking as a legal crime punishment. Second point, according to Article 25, states are given a right to frame a law or continue any existing law which permits the public institution for social welfare or reforms to keep the Hindu religion institution open to all Hindus. So some of the religions or the Hindu religion is open, that is for the Hindu people. Here the word Hindu included Sikh, Jains and Buddhists, and Hindu religion institution includes all the religious institution of Sikhs, Jains and Buddhists. So in the in the Hindu religion, it's including then Sikh people, the Jain people and Buddhist people. So these are the some of the Hindu religious institutions. Next we will see that provisions only for scheduled tribe. So scheduled caste, which are the provisions are given, we seen that. So for the scheduled tribes, which are the provisions is given. The article number 19.5 empowers the governors of the state to impose restrictions in the interest of scheduled caste over the right to unrestricted movement of people to any region to settle down there, to acquire property or to carry out any business or trade. So what they are doing? So the empower to the governor of the states. What they are doing? To impose the restrictions. Some of the restrictions are imposed in the interest of scheduled caste over the right to unrestricted movement of people to any region, and also to settle down there, to acquire property or to carry out any business or trade. So they can do wherever they want to settle, wherever they want to any type of in the trade or business. Such a rights given authority to restrict exploitation in the tribal region about land transaction, money lending and other exploitation of scheduled tribes, and to frame special laws to protect them. So lastly we say that as a conclusion, various schemes and programs have been started by the government for the development of scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and backward classes. So some of the special provisions are given, some special favors are given for this category. That is why their condition is improving. Many people have got an opportunity to progress socially, economically, politically. All type of facilities are given, but still their condition is not improved. So students, next we will see that a new topic, that terrorism, a global problem. So what is terrorism? Then in the 21st century, terrorism has become a problem for human society. It is a global problem. So terrorism is always a global problem only. So terrorism has become a problem for the human society. It is a global problem. So you can underline your textbook. Terrorism is a global problem. Terrorism leads to destruction of human rights. So some of the effects are there after terrorism. Terrorism leads to destruction of human life. The people may die. Bloodshedding will be there. Destruction is there. Fear, chaos, some kind of fear, chaos is there. Violence, unrest, etc. These are some of the in the result of the terrorism. Although terrorism has no connection with any religion or sect, yet by linking terrorism with a religion, terrorists and getting indulged in a cowardly and hateful, etc. So a hateful act. So what they are doing, it is not particularly related to any religion or sect, but it is included with the religion or terrorism and some kind of hateful act they are creating. Terrorism is a hindrance in the progress of India. So if it is any type of terrorism is there, so cannot be progress. Terrorism is related to violence which openly violate the principles of live and let live. So what they are doing? They are openly violate the principle what? The live and let live. That is the one of the principles of terrorism. Then next we'll see that terrorism is an organization, planned, deliberate, violent acts. So terrorism is not a sudden action. It is pre-planning. So it is an organized, planned and deliberate violent act. Terrorists are engaged in violent activities like suicide attack, throwing bomb, hiding weapons and using them, kidnapping, hijacking of plane, suicide attacks, smuggling of narcotic drugs, etc. So these terrorist people are doing these kind of activities. They are dying themselves only. That is why suicide attack doing, throwing the bomb, hiding the weapons, using them, kidnapping them, hijacking plane, suicide attacks, smuggling. So what are the world level, the global level activities they are trying to do? Then next we will see that the difference between rebellion and terrorism in India. So first we will see that what is rebellion, what is terrorism. This is very important for your examination. So rebellion and terrorism. Rebellion is a national problem while then terrorism is a global problem. This is very important. Rebellion is a national problem, then terrorism is a global problem. So you can compare with both. It's a spread on the regional level against own government, but the terrorism is a country or against other countries. It's spread on the international level, but in in the rebellion is only inside the country or in the regional level only and against own government, but terrorism against of other country or the international level. It is carried out with the help of local people. Then rebellion always with the local people, but terrorism they may or may not get local support. Then fourth point we will see that development of state is suffering from problem of rebellion in hindered. So if it is something happened, that is problem for the state only. But the development of country suffering from terrorism in hindered. So if it happened any type of terrorism, that is for the country full, but in the rebellion only for that particular stage. Thus, we see that rebellion originates from local dissatisfaction and there is no such restriction on terrorism. Today, India is fighting against internal rebellion and terrorism. Some kind of internal rebellion as well as the terrorism also need to face it. Next we will see that Naxalist movement. Inspired by the Chinese Revolution under the leadership of Mao Zedong, you can underline your textbook, this Naxalist, who is the Naxalist leader. Then the leader of Mao Zedong's. Then some Naxalites started this insurgency in India for the first time in 1967 in West Bengal. This fierce ideology is called Naxalism because it originated in a village Naxalbari in the West Bengal. So this Naxalism started in the place of Naxalbari in West Bengal. That is why from that place name got the name of Naxalism. With its beginning, the West Bengal, it has spread now in Jharkhand, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Kerala, Odisha, Tripura, Madhya Pradesh, or the mountainous and forest region. So before it was only in the West Bengal. Now we can see the many states they are having this Naxalism. There are two major organizations with People's War Group and a Maoist Communist Center. These are the two major organization of Naxalism. Then People's War Group and a Maoist Communist Center. Next we will see that insurgents in Northeast. Since independence, the insurgency in northeastern India has been a perennial problem for India. Some factors which stimulate insurgency are many tribal communities, hilly and forest landscape, mutual cooperation among militant groups, international boundary at a few places and intelligence of foreign agencies. Now we will see that some of the states and which are the rebellion organizations are established. So Nagaland, Manipur, Tripura, Assam, these are the places some of the rebellion organizations are established. Nagaland, NSCN, that is National Socialist Council of Nagaland. Manipur, KNF, that is Kuki National Front. The second one is KNA, Kuki National Army. The third one is Tripura, NLFT, the National Liberation Front of Tripura. Then ATTF, All Tripura Tigers Force. Then TUJS, Tripura Upajati Jupa Samiti. In Assam, ULFA, United Liberation Front of Assam. UMF, United Minority Front. NDFB, National Democratic Front of Bodoland. BLTF, Bodoland Liberation Tiger Force. These are the some of the agencies or the insurgents agencies established in the state and some of the rebellion organization. These rebellion organizations have been struggling for demand of separate state to secure their own political, economic interest or on the question of illegal immigration. Then they are having some of the demands for one, to separate the state, to make sure for their political, economical interest and the question for the illegal immigration. So because of it, economic, social, administrative and political system are damaged. Next we will see that terrorism in Kashmir. India became independent on 15th August 1947. Two separate nations, India and Pakistan, were formed. So after the independence of India, then India separated and became as Pakistan and India. That two countries are formed. Pakistan has captured some part of Kashmir after independence. Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India. Still Pakistan tries to capture it every now and then. It has even foggy wars for this, and in every war India has inflicted a humiliating defeat. For this Pakistan still having some kind of capturing some kind of the problems are arising. It has even foggy war for this, and these are the some humiliating activities we are facing. Terrorism has increased in Kashmir after 1988. The terrorists have terrorized people by how they are terrorizing? By kidnapping, murdering, bomb exploitation, etc. they are doing. To fulfill their motives. Always they are having some motive to get for that purpose. They are kidnapping the people, killing the people, and bomb exploitation is also doing. As a result of it, families of many Kashmiri Pandits had to migrate. So many Kashmiri people migrate. Thousands of such families are living as refugees, not having any particular place outside Kashmir. Terrorism in Kashmir is supported from across the border. The intention of the terrorists is to create fear and instability in India. Some kind of fears they are creating and instability also creating in country. India is determined to face them family. That is why we are trying to face all the difficulties. India opposes terrorism not only in India but also anywhere. We are not supporting for a terrorism. We are always trying to opposing towards us and for other countries also. In any form and at any time. In order to endure terrorism, soldiers of India have accepted martyrdom. So what we are doing? We don't need to make any type. We don't want to make it to any type of terrorism. That is why in order to end terrorism, to stop the terrorism, our soldier or our Indian soldiers are sacrificing their life and they are accepting the martyrdom. So next we will see that social effect of terrorism. Terrorism leads to integration of the nation. They are trying to separate the nation. Second point, terrorism creates feeling of fear and suspicion among the people because of the activities like fear, robbery, violence, etc. So because of terrorism, some kind of fear, suspicion, then some activities. Which are the activities they are doing? The robbery, violence, etc. Its effect is felt in all age group. Then education suffers adversely in terrorism affected area. So if it happen any type of terrorism, education is also not possible properly. As a result of terrorism, mutual faith and feeling of brotherhood diminish. If it is any type of terrorism is there, then faith and brotherhood will not be continue. Many times it leads to communal conflict and social arrangement are shared into fragments. Chaos and unrest is generated in the society. Some kind of what is in the fearfulness, the chaos, and there is not getting any type of relaxation in the society. People cannot celebrate social functions with enthusiasm. As a result of it, interrelation connecting people are disrupted. Some kind of the people losing their all type of enthusiasm because they are not able to celebrate any type of function. That is why interrelation connection also become worst. The last will see that the economic impact of terrorism. Because of terrorism, conducive atmosphere for development of business and industry is not created. Any type of industry or business cannot be continued. So the business and trade relation are adversely affected. Due to negative effect on business and industries, people migrate to other places because they are not able to do any type of business and industries. That is why they are trying to migrate to other places. Some terrorist organizations extort money from rich industrial employees, businessmen. They are taking some kind of money from the people, from the employees or businessmen or from rich people. Terrorists are engaged in antisocial activities like drug trafficking and black money. As a result of it, socio-economic problems are created in the country. Some kind of social anti-activities they are involving. That is why drug trafficking, black money, as a result, socio-economic problem can be created. Terrorists destroy railway, radio station, roads, bridges, other government offices, etc. So, the all type of government public facilities they are trying to destroy. Crores or rupees have to be spent to re-establish them. If it is once it is lost, once it is damaged, it will take time to reconstruct. So, need to spend more money. Government has to spend crores of rupees for safety and protection. So that is why always trying to give some kind of safety and protection to the people. That is why government is spending crores of money, making the securities or the soldiers or polices and all. As a result of terrorism, state and national transportation industry, tourism industry have to suffer a great loss. Then transportation industry as well as the tourism also cannot be make it properly. Then that is why last we will see that terrorism is social as well as economically harmful. Then terrorism should not help the growth of the people. That is why it is always then harmful for economic and social life of the people. Thus, it's necessary to solve this problem. That is why then as soon as possible, the terrorism has to be stopped. So students, in this lesson, we are dealing with some of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes professions. Then what is rebellion and terrorism. Then which are the social effects of terrorism and economic impact of terrorism. So thank you students. Thank you for listening my class. Have a nice day.